Hello, everyone. I am Gander of the gaming clan Vato Clan. As that nice little overlay right there tells you, this is a show that I like to refer to as the Dominion Breakdown. This week, I'm putting together a video for you guys because what patch is this? Gosh, it helps if I read these right. Patch 3.6 notes have just been released, posted by Morello on League of Legends' site. And I'm here to talk to you guys about it today. But I am not alone. I've got a few guests with me. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves? You guys get to fight over which order you do it in.
Okay, go first. I'm half-hearted. I used to play for PAX. I currently play for, I'm currently a sub for Team Feel the Vibe right now, and they've gone through several name changes, so I'm not actually quite sure what the current iteration is. But, yeah, I played a minion, and I like to think I'm pretty decent.
Next.
Hi, I'm HEAVYBLACKOUT, and I'm sometimes on the main roster, sometimes a sub because of a weird work situation on amputees. I'm like the designated guy that plays just as much Summoner's Rift as I do Dominion, that's in the Dominion scene, I think. So, I don't know. I feel like I bring some different insight into it.
Yeah, I'll go. Hi, I am Science, formerly No God Try Science. I'm currently playing on amputees. I play top lane, mostly mages and tanks. Could possibly be changing since I'm trying to branch out some. That is me.
Hello, I'm Lerch. I'm from Cheese Enema. I take pictures for the team. Yeah, I play bottom lane sometimes, and sometimes top.
I mean, all the time, you mean?
I'm Kraogg. I play for Cheese Enema also. I play a ton of tanks for the team, bruisers, anything we need really.
Glad.
Yeah, lately Vlad. So much fun.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this because I got a Florida vacuum and I still am posting the VODs from the last tournament. I mean, you guys, I'm working right here. You guys can see it in this other screen. But looking at the patch notes, they tease us with Lysandra up first. Lysandra the Ice Witch is in the 3.6 build, which means that, if I'm correct, that means all of her data and stuff, all the files we have, but she's not actually live. That's what that means, right?
Basically,
Yeah.
Lysandra, she's almost ready to go, but she's not ready to go yet. She'll be released slightly
She's,
later. You saw that.
yeah.
I would never have seen that coming. Total shocker.
She's a grayed out picture in the Champions tab that just taught you.
So right, has something to release next week or the week after.
I like how
Probably sometime later this week.
they're gonna release the champion like every month, but they make it even longer.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is what Riot does with champion release nowadays. Like, they're like, oh, wait, we have some small bug fixes we want to roll out, so we're not going to put it out with this patch. We'll put it out slightly after the patch.
They'll wait till they're nice and overpowered.
They at least include it in the data, though, so you don't have to do a separate download for it.
Looking
I
at her
like that.
numbers, she actually looks kind of underpowered.
Looking at her skill set, she looks like a Frost Mage from WoW. It's like the exact champion I always wanted. She's got Frost Bolt, Frost Nova, Ice Block. The only thing she's missing is Blink, and she still kind of has that with her Arm Reach, Glacial Hand teleport thing. Like, this is like the champion that I always wanted to have. My body is ready. I've been like farming IP. I'm gonna buy whatever runes are the most OP with her when she comes out. And
I think that
she's a 4-button assassin with numbers that are too low to be an actual assassin.
But they're scared of the numbers because of the things that her abilities do, in my
her
opinion.
ultimate is
It's like I want to
crazy.
see how much control.
Yeah.
Like,
Comp said that she's not like Comp said that she's an assassin who rides trying to dress up as a utility mage, and it's not going to work.
I just wish she could ult allies. That would make her the best character in the game. If she could like freeze an ally and like stasis it and have it deal damage around it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Riot's
man.
never ever going to do that.
She'd be OP as hell if you did that, though.
I'll
Jax
just-
jumps in, counterattack goes off, pop that, it wears off, Grandmaster's Might goes off. Yeah, that would
Sejuani ult after.
Bam! Speaking of Sejuani, that's what we got first on the list here. Now, which one I haven't played Sejuani myself, but a member of my team, Shinryu, plays a lot of Sejuani in Summoner's Rift. But this is the Dominion Breakdown, so we don't care about that map with lanes. We have a circle. Circles, that's not really a lane. It's more like a driveway.
Well,
Which
I mean,
one of you guys have
technically it's a
played
lane,
Sejuani?
just a really big lane.
I don't know. I played her a bit on SR, but on Dominion, all I see people do is like stack giant spells and like get a void death.
Yeah, right now on Dominion, she's kind of underpowered. Like she's not the strongest tanks.
Yeah, there's like better choices for her right now. Like she doesn't offer enough control, like at
The
all.
way I see it, she's supposed to be kind of like a moo. Like she's slightly less tanky, but slightly more damagey than your standard tank.
Yeah.
She feels a little lighter than mine.
Her ultimate cooldown is like really tailored towards Summoner's Rift too.
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah,
just
the ultimate cooldown's pretty massive, but I'd say it's more powerful than a Moon's ult, like in certain cases.
yeah. I have to agree with that.
Okay, and I actually had Fancy Wolf who was gonna get logging in here in a minute. We're gonna pull him in once he messages me on Skype. I'm gonna go ahead and buy a little bit of time for him and go ahead and reload the reload. I'm gonna read down. Excuse me. What am I saying? Ooh, new model and stuff. Do they have still images of it? Oh, they do. All right, let's talk about the new model first, and then we'll break into the patch changes.
Okay.
Who likes the art?
It's not bad.
I like
it.
the art.
Yeah,
I feel like it fits the character. They changed her art because of her personality or whatever. Because before it was like, yeah, she's like, supposed to be like a tough, like independent, strong woman. But at the same time they dressed her up in like a leather chainmail bikini. So
like her animations are a lot better now.
Yeah, her animations are a lot better.
I always thought it was weird that she's supposed to be from the far north and she's not wearing anything. I mean, if she had a Ring of Elemental adaptation, sure, but that's not in her lore.
Yeah, it's nice because she doesn't just have snow coming out from underneath her. She's actually spinning her mace. That's pretty good.
Yeah, now she's actually wearing like a full body suit of armor, and she looks pretty menacing. So yeah, I really like what they did with her.
So all those people that have Sejuani cosplay are gonna have to change their outfit now.
Oh man! Oh dang!
Oh, the terror!
That nerf.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to stick to MF if you want to bury your midriff now.
Aww. Evelyn, I think Evelyn's still up for grabs, but that requires full body makeup.
Evelyn's a lot skimpier than just the midriff.
Yeah.
The Evelyn's kind of gross because they always have to paint themselves blue. It's weird.
No one does it well enough for that.
Yeah, it's always it's a bad hue of blue.
We need to take a picture of Evelyn to like Home Depot and have them color match it. Latex paint.
Oh man.
That would work great.
The terror.
Alright, and I think I've got hey, I got Fancy Wolf. Cool. I bought exactly enough time for him to get here.
Oh, how fancy.
I'm gonna add him to the call and then have him Fancy Wolf, do we have you?
Yo.
Hey, why don't you introduce yourself real quick and we'll get started talking about Sejuani.
All right, hey everyone, I'm Fancy Wolf. I'm captain of Awesome Explosion plus Lolly. And we're here to talk about some patch notes.
Yes, we are. We just got done looking at the model changes for Sejuani, and now I'm going to read through the patch changes. Frost Armor, her passive, damaging an enemy with a basic ability or attack, grants Sejuani bonus armor.
Maybe we should just go through like the entire skill set. Like I feel like it would take too time to go over each skill individually.
I'm going to read through them, and then we'll talk about it. This is just for anyone listening, so they don't have to watch.
Okay.
They don't have to look at the screen. The Frost Armor passive, damaging an enemy with an ability or basic attack, grants Sejuani bonus armor and reduces movement slowing effects on her for a short duration. Her Q, Arctic Assault, Sejuani charges forward, knocking enemies into the air and dealing magic damage to them based on their maximum health. The charge stops after knocking an enemy champion in the air. So it is a line effect that does % damage based off maximum health, and the line ends once she collides with someone.
Yeah, it's kind of like Malphite ult, like except if you hit someone, I think you stop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
just
you
charge
stop
forward
the first thing hit.
And then her W, Flail of the Northern Winds, Sejuani's next basic attack, deals bonus magic damage to her target and all nearby enemies. She then spins her flail, dealing magic damage to nearby enemies for a few seconds. That's an AoE magic damage attack centered on herself. Her E, Permafrost. Its passive abilities, Sejuani's abilities and basic attacks apply frost to enemies. And its active ability, Sejuani slows and damages all nearby enemies afflicted with frost. So it's another self-centered AoE. And her last one, Glacial Prison, her ultimate, Sejuani throws a frost-forged bola in a line. If the bola hits an enemy champion, it shatters, stunning the target and all nearby enemies. If the bola reaches its maximum range without striking enemy champion, it shatters and slows nearby enemies. That's what her abilities do. Now, who here has played Sejuani?
I've definitely played her.
Not me.
Yeah, I've played her.
I've played her quite a bit as well.
Okay, so let's start with Fancy Wolf. Let's go to you first. What's your opinion on these changes and how they're going to affect her gameplay in Dominion?
Her gameplay in Dominion is going to skyrocket. I'm honestly going to... I think she'll be picked a lot in tournament play now, especially with that Q getting the added percentage damage on it. Instead of it being on W, now it's on her initiate, and she's going to be able to chase with consistent percentage damage. Having the passive granting her bonus armor now is also incredibly useful. The active on W, being able to have that extra auto attack hit someone, you're pretty much just getting a free Sheen proc out of it at first, and then as you build it up, it'll get even stronger. And then, of course, now that all of her abilities apply Frost, Permafrost will be a lot easier to activate, hit everyone, and her ult is just astoundingly good now. Instead of stunning only one person for 2 seconds, and then everyone else for 1, everyone will get stunned for the same duration, and that'll scale as she levels it up. Overall, she's going to be incredibly powerful once these changes go through.
Anyone else want to weigh in on that?
I feel like it'll come down to a question of cooldowns. Because I'm not saying I disagree with Fancy Wolf. I'm just saying that like if her Q's base cooldown is like 18 or something stupid, in with levels it goes down by like 2 per level or something like that. Like you're forced into maxing it if you're using it as like a consistent chase tool, and like you're forced into cooldown builds. And like the same thing with her ultimate. If her ultimate's still on like a 3-4 minute cooldown or whatever, I don't think it's necessarily going to be relevant. And also, I kind of thought that the way that the percent health damage worked on her W in the previous Sejuani build, I don't know if that'll be better, because I think the way the Arctic Assault works is it only hits one enemy champion with the percent health damage, whereas with her W you can sit in the middle of their team and it was like a Mumu's cry, it was like a Mumu's tears, and it just did AoE percent health damage in comparison to right now where it seems like it only does it to one champion. I think it's more percent health damage in like a burst situation, so she's more bursty. But like, I think the old Sejuani build, it was really like if Sejuani got fed by any means and had a bunch of health items, she could really burn down an entire team with her northern ones, which is different with this build.
Yeah, I actually I think I was speaking to who was it? I think High Peoples or someone who actually said that he likes her old passive more, although he's definitely in the minority in this case, but.
I mean, they moved the old passive to her E though, so I don't see like.
No, well, the thing is like it applies Frost, but from what I've heard, the new Frost doesn't actually slow people, so it's just a means to apply her other abilities.
Oh yeah, they did say that in the champion spot.
Slows now.
Yeah, well, that's why you buy Frozen Mallet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Frozen Mallet, Rylai's Frozen Fist, go.
Yeah, dude.
All ice.
Like, I'm more excited about the Q change than anything, because that's like what you
AoE
really
knockup.
Like, like not having ability to CC other than your like slow and your ultimate was really hurting her.
Well, if it is an AoE knockup, doesn't that mean you still have to hit the same targets, or if we can find out if that is applied
think
to
of it like a slower Malphite ultimate.
Yeah. But does it damage everything around the thing you hit as well?
I would imagine.
So the things knocked back, or do they take damage as well?
Yeah, does everything take the percentage of the maximum health?
Because if it does, you will want to max that Q first.
From the look of her kit now, like everything does AoE damage.
Yeah, I would say it's safe to assume that the Q, when you do hit, if you hit right, it should hit everything with that damage.
Yeah, it should hit like.
Yeah, I guess whether you max it, I guess depends on the utility of her other spells. Like it depends on how strong her E is.
It's not going to be the wide zone of Malphite ultimate. It's going to be a smaller zone.
Yeah, I think the actual area of effect, like the size of the area effect of her Q, from looking at the champion spotlight, it seemed kind of small. But that's what I noticed.
I would assume it's AoE for jungle and clear too.
Yeah,
I'm guessing it's going to be about the same as Rammus, like the area around Rammus's pop back.
Yeah.
I think whether you max Q or E first is going to come down to like how powerful E is, because that's also like it's a very wide range AoE, and it's a really powerful slow. So
and E's AP ratio was decent if I remember. It was like 0.8 or 0.7 or something like that. It was okay.
E's only sitting at a 0.5, while W W altogether is a 0.9.
Yeah, but
if you hit
W
him
is
with
over
everything.
time. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of like a Moomoo's Cry. Like it's good. It does good damage, but like I personally max it last. So
I think people are going to max the Q just for the mobility and the percent health damage.
Well, you can get it
Yeah.
down to 11, and with how fast you stack CDR on Dominion anyway, that'll very quickly be down to 6 seconds.
I'm
So,
sorry. Like you're a tank and you want to max CDR. Well, that's hard.
yeah,
it is.
exactly.
It is a little hard. It is a little.
Like
hard.
gonna
every
be like a
single
6
tank
second
item in the
knockout
game
with
gives
max cooldown.
CDR.
And you know she'll
It's,
first item sweeper, so she'll be like crazy mobile. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, then-
Sejuani, before all these changes, we always talked about her lack of additional CC and her lack of really being able to do anything. So I've even likened her to just being Sejuani is a champion that's made out of R cooldown, and she was always a great hit point soak. And it looks like we're going to see a continuation of that, or am I? It just looks like she's going to finally now have the extra CC ability to actually be a viable pick rather than just having to rely on her R.
Yeah, that's the way I see it too. She pretty much has everything she used to. Just it's amplified now. She has extra crowd control effects.
Yeah, she gets the
And
extra
her
power
Q
she
is-
needs to be.
Her Q is definitely better. I think that's the one skill that really, really like
Oh yeah.
is going to
Yeah.
make her kit. Is that her
The
Q?
other
They did
big
nerf the
buff
range
to
a
the
little
kit.
bit.
Yeah, they nerfed the range on Q, but the other really big buff to her kit is that Frost
Yeah.
is applied by everything, as opposed to just your auto attacks in Q. So,
Yeah, so you could pop W right into the middle of everyone.
yeah,
and then
pop W on
You also
everyone.
give her
and
start
put-
like armor on her passive, which is really nice.
Yeah, the extra
Yeah.
bulk in the very beginning is good too.
I think the passive being better though really comes down to how they tweak the numbers. Because typically, if your passive gives you armor, what they do is they lower your base armor. Like on a champion, that's just
Does
typically
anyone
what
know
it
the
is.
numbers on her yet? Or
Yeah, I'm actually not seeing
numbers
those
should
here.
be on the thing. Like there's a
Here.
thing on the patch notes that says click here, so I assume that's what I click in order to go
Go
read
look
the
at it.
numbers.
Her base armor is relatively high, and its scaling is relatively high as well.
No,
she,
I
has,
was wrong. Riot's not giving us the numbers. Looks like we need the wiki for that.
she has a
Alt
20.5
has a
base armor.
130-second cooldown at at level 1.
No, that's like a Mumu though. So like,
Someone wants to drop me a lol wiki link in the Skype call so
yeah,
we can
there's,
get it on
two
the
of
screen
them.
for
There's like
everyone.
3 of them in Skype.
It's in the Skype call.
Okay, I gotta get up from my computer for just a second. Keep talking. Don't let that stop you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like her arc cooldown's like basically the same thing as a Mumu's, I think, right?
Yeah, it's not gonna be
Yeah. The her
Oh,
base
that's
attack is
fine.
actually really
Yeah.
good. Her health is great. Her base attack is a little lower than most of the tanks, but the scaling is really nice. She has 125 range, 340 base move speed, but her armor scaling is actually really strong for having that passive as well.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
back.
Yeah,
her R
the passive
cooldown
is
is
a
actually
lot.
shorter than a Mumu's. Like it's 20 seconds lower than a
Yeah,
Mumu's.
And it has a good AP ratio too.
Yeah,
.8.
that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Has
I
huge
feel like her
range.
ultimate-
like,
I feel like
almost-
her ultimate cooldown used to be way longer. That's crazy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Sedge's ultimate has it's the same cooldown as it was before.
the only
Yeah,
reason it feels so long is because she's so dependent on it right now. That's like
Yeah.
why it feels so long.
You can't do anything unless you can lock everyone up with it. So
That's true.
All right, yeah, there's all those numbers on the screen here. So her E and W cooldowns on the
Are-
active are. Does it show what the active cooldown on permafrost is? Am I just not seeing it?
it's at
It
the very
says
top.
11.
It's
At the top
11.
of the skill.
It's a flat 11 at
Oh, it's
all
a
ranks.
flat 11.
Yeah, statics, because that means that no one's going to max it first. That's
Yeah.
Which skill was it?
Permafrost.
Permafrost is a flat 11. Arctic
E,
Assault
right?
and Flail.
Is that her E button?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's her E.
Yeah.
Her Q and W both have reducing cooldowns as you level it, so you're going to be able to sit there and just Q and W after people all day long once you get them maxed.
Mm.
Looks
Yeah,
like the
it's-
cooldowns synchronize really well between W and E. There's nothing like you're always going to be able to have, permafrost active available if you want to hit it, along with flail.
Yes. It's like whenever your Arctic Assault is off cooldown, you go in, and then you can immediately pop Flail and Permafrost, and then the next time you pop Flail and Permafrost, they'll be off cooldown at the same time.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, kit's looking really good, and the passive even has that extra slow reduction on it too, which that never hurts as well.
Oh yeah, slow reduction. I like that. That's a good thing.
Wait, does it?
Yep, and it gives you base armor, or it gives you the extra armor, and it gives you slow reduction.
Huh?
So,
Does anyone know if that stacks with tenacity or not?
It,
I'm sure
it's
mastery-
not
the other
multiplicatively.
mastery.
I think it's just additively like normal.
it'll stack
Go
with the mastery.
the mastery that's above the tenacity one that reduces the movement and parent effects.
There's
Oh.
also the swiftness boots. Gives
Yeah,
slow
so if you
reduction.
get swiftness boots with passive with the mastery, you won't be able to slow her.
Wow, that's pretty good. I like it.
I'm probably gonna opt for Ninja Tabby though, but
I don't
Does
know
this-
that
Do you
base
think this
armor.
is going to change up her build style, or do you think we're still going to be seeing kind of the same items built on?
Yeah, I think we'll
Sejuani's
still
before?
see like mostly the same things, just be more effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lots of
you'll see
CDR.
those like pretty much
to
the
help.
same tank build.
Blackfire's
Like
a tank item, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. So
Blackfire is anything.
Exactly.
I see that she does any magic damage, so that means BFT, right?
Yep.
If you have an
She does
HP
magic
ability-
damage, and she does magic damage
Sorry,
over
Gordon.
time in an AoE, so that's...
Yeah, she can
definitely-
apply BFT to everything consistently.
Well, my only problem with that is that she's going to run out of charges immediately, so...
Yeah.
Hmm.
Have to have someone crunch the numbers on that.
I might build it slower. I might go like
Sit on deck.
tank item, guys, tank item, and then Blackfire or something like that.
We want to have anything else they want to add in about Sejuani before we kick over to Trundle?
Screw that, let's go straight to Trundle.
All right. It's Trundle time, guys.
Trundle.
Trundle is the next character that's getting a whole bunch of changes here. I'm going to go ahead and read down the list. Actually, no, let's look at the model change first, because some people love the art, and I am one of them. Trundle is now really beefy looking. If you look at the art, he used to be like a little guy, but he's been working out. He looks man mode now.
I don't
Big
know.
old
I'm a
ice
fan
troll.
of the old style. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm going to be running Christian on Trundle just because it keeps all his old voiceover, because that
I
laugh is
think-
amazing.
I think that I liked the old Trundle because he was like one of the purely non-serious champions in the game, and that like doesn't really exist. You know what I mean? There's like
Yeah.
Timo Heimerdinger, and then like Trundle.
nexus to the other.
He's a total
he
joke.
was super. Yeah, he was a joke, and now he's not a joke. So I'm kind of upset about that. But I think it looks good. I think the new stuff.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
That
I
Slugger
like
Trundle skin, the
The
trophy
Slugger
killer.
Trundle skin is the only reason why I'm not even complaining, because I have the skin, and like the pillar. Yeah, the pillar is just too good for me to even complain.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and read down the abilities here for you. His passive, looks like there's no changes to his passive at all. It's just they renamed it King's Tribute as opposed to being decomposed, so no changes there. Chomp, previously Rabid Bite, its damage has gone down a little bit, but its
Adjusted.
attack damage ratio has gone up.
It's an early game nerf and a slight late game buff, so nerf overall.
And it now slows the target by 75% for a really, really
0.1
long amount of
seconds
time.
on
That's
hit.
basically negligible. I mean, you hit that with tenacity,
That's-
it's like blink of an eye gone.
It's good
right?
for chasing, though. It's really good
That's
for chasing.
pretty strong. I think that's a pretty huge change, actually.
Yeah.
It's a 75% slow, so it's going to keep them there long enough for Trundle to stick even better. So Trundle
Yeah.
already gets to you with Frozen
It's-
Mallet, and you can't shake him. So he's going to be a lot harder to get away from once he
I've
does get
actually
that mallet.
never gotten Mallet on Trundle. I've always had
Me
like the
neither.
Ghost Blade
Frozen
Visage.
Fish.
Maybe
That's
Frozen
fine.
Fist.
The next line makes me so happy. Animation speed scales with Trundle's attack speed.
Oh, yes.
That's
yes.
gonna be
Oh, my
pretty cool.
God. That's wonderful.
Now, they Freylorded him all up here, Frozen Kingdom, previously Contaminate, and I like that old graphic, but I guess I'll have to learn to love the new one. The attack speed bonus has gone up at later ranks by a significant amount as ranks go up. It also gives increased healing to Trundle, but also no longer grants tenacity.
Yeah, I think what they did there was like they took the tenacity off because it was a little bit too strong, and they instead put the slow on his Q. So overall, his chasing is going to be about the same. Probably a bit more powerful, but like
Yeah,
Yeah,
just getting.
it's not that big of a deal. Like it used to be more when people used to play tons of Rammus. Like I used to like pick Trundle and go with Aurelia and just like make the Rammus useless.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss the tenacity definitely, but
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not. It's not going to break him by any means. It was just something that like was good about him, but he wasn't overall like the strongest. So it didn't really seem like it. I feel like if one of his other abilities was overpowered, the tenacity on his W would just make him that much more like annoying. But he's overall pretty balanced in my opinion.
But yeah, if you get Spear of Visage with that extra 20 healing and Spear of Visage, it's pretty ridiculous.
Oh
Damn.
yes.
You ain't
That's
getting
going-
Trundle off
Ghost
the point.
Blade Visage, and then you get like a Vamp Scepter or something.
Yeah,
Oh yes.
Grab a
Oh,
lantern.
A Pillar of Ice, previously Pillar of Filth, which was one of my favorite ability names in the game, now interrupts channels, duration reduced by a half second. And then
Oh, that's so big
It's,
of a change.
it's a knock-up now if you can actually land the pillar on someone, so that's really good.
Yeah.
Interrupt
That'll stop them
channels.
from that.
Yeah,
like
you can-
now
That's
when
gonna
you
be
cast
made
pillar
for
on someone
end
capturing a
division
point,
right there. Yep.
yeah, it's an interrupt. So like you can stop Katarina,
Yeah.
you can stop people capturing points. Like it's
That's
really
awesome.
powerful.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
stopping of caps was
That's
so
amazing.
annoying.
Dude, you
Yeah,
can stop
whenever,
if the shadows like up top. If you're in the shadows, you can just like stop caps now. It's gonna be so useful.
Oh
The
yeah.
name's less metal though. Pillar of Ice is not as metal as Pillar of
It's
Filth.
not
I
as metal.
agree.
It's still pillar of filth if you use the traditional skin.
Yeah, that's true.
Gonna use that skin, man.
Oh
Because
yes.
You already
Pillar of
own him.
Filth was hardcore. And the last ability, Subjugate, previously Agony, they renamed all the abilities because, hey, Freylord's apparently a pretty cool place. I actually don't know what it's called. on
Literally.
Lore.
Was that it? Was
Oh,
that
that
an
bad
unintentional
pun. You're fired.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
You're
was an
fired.
unintentional pun.
It now deals percent max health damage instead of flat damage. The armor and magic resist drain is now a flat 20% across all ranks instead of going 15, 20, 25. And the second drain effect now applies over 4 seconds. It keeps stats for an additional 4 seconds afterward instead of draining just over the 6-second period.
So what that's going to do is their tank is going to be less tanky for less time, but you get to be tanky for longer, so that's not too bad.
And you're also dealing big percentage damage to him.
Yeah.
24% off of the guy that you have trouble killing is a lot.
And like the healing effect, it's like inside your Frozen Kingdoms, like
Oh
retarded.
yeah.
Yep. So
What-
you're
what-
going to have massive
all the way
Yeah,
lifespan.
Trundle's already hard to kill when he's
What
ulting
we can do.
someone, and he's just going to be harder to kill now.
I think an important word there is max health instead of current health. So like,
Yeah,
if someone's
max health,
below
yeah.
20%, you could just ult.
Just nuke him into
Just zap
oblivion.
You
him.
just ult and
Yeah.
walk away.
Play your,
That one
play your,
word changes skills so much. Just Evelyn's ult
Yep.
from max to current.
And current. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The old ult used to one shot.
DFG.
teams.
Dude, Evelyn's old ult was just nightmare-inducing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
You're at 50. Like I'm going to nuke off half your maximum health in one shot.
I wasn't against the old ultimate.
Yeah.
I was fine with it.
Of course, you would be fine.
Yeah. Let's go blow up some more people in bot lane. What's that? 3 people low, capping a point? They're all standing right next to each other.
And that's why you spread out on a point in Dominion. You'd think that
Yep.
after X number of tournament casts, man, people would get it. But they will. They will as soon as
Eventually.
they get that
Some
triple
people
Ezreal
do.
interrupt.
Some people do.
Give it a year. Our player base will catch up. It'll be awesome. But now I've just read down. What are we looking at for changes here? Is Trundle going to be like an awesome duelist now? Like, can this guy stay and deliver?
He's always been an awesome duelist.
Yeah, he's already
Now
yeah,
he's got
duelist.
he's got a CC on top of it now though. Which he
Well,
didn't
I
have
mean,
before.
I don't know.
Right,
Like,
he's still
I see
OCC.
Pillar as more of a. I mean, obviously, Pillar is going to be nice if you're fighting like against a Katarina or something that's dependent on like channeling an ability like Nunu. But overall, his dueling ability is about the same. It's just that he's always been a really, really strong duelist.
I think it's a little bit stronger just purely from the health difference on a subjugate now. That's it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like it's just
The percentage damage is going to just wreck everything.
just having a Blade of the Rune King active on your ult is going to be
I actually played a game of Trundle today on the PBE, like
What
a
is
3 gig.
cooldown?
The
Cooldown is 60 at max. At max.
yeah, it's,
1 minute.
It's pretty good. It was up every single time I needed it.
It's gonna be up every fight.
Yeah, it's a low cooldown on such a powerful ability. I like it.
I don't know. Most of his play to me was always built around how well you can place pillars. It's a really great utility.
Yeah,
skill.
like Pillar is definitely the second thing in Max. Like Frozen Kingdom, it's a great skill, but like that's still going to get Max last.
Mm-hmm.
And with CDR and Pillar, it's just with if you're bordering
Yeah, you
on
can just have it up all the
40%,
time.
you have a consistent Pillar up all the time.
The duration.
A lot of people,
lower, so
yeah.
it's gonna be down like
Every half second.
It'll
Yeah.
be like Annie's Molten Shield, where the downtime is just, oh, it's back now.
The downtime is
Yeah.
negligible, basically.
But
Like
the
the
thing is
moment
that-
one pillar fades, the next one goes up. It's just
The pillar has consistently been like the strongest AoE slow in the game. Like
Yes.
as far as the time that it's on, all like just having a consistent AoE slow all the time with a terrain in the middle of it is just it's pretty strong.
yeah, it's a really, really powerful skill. Like my build to Trundle has always been max CDR, max pillar second, and you just you just rely on like the power of his Q and E.
Yeah, and he's been a good consistent counter pick to like melee champions that don't have gap closers and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
he's really good like with like long range kitey teams too. I remember once I was playing Trundle and like we had like freaking Nidalee, Ezreal, and something else that was range, and I was like, okay, I'll just pick Trundle. And what I did that game, I just put pillars in front of people, and I just built tanky with the Ghost Blade, and it was fun. I think actually either Lerch or Kraogg, one of you guys was a bot lane Zed that game. I went legendary in Trundle.
It had to be Lerch because I don't play him.
Well, on
Yeah.
that, oh, I smacked my headset off of my own head. That was not very smart. I hit the cord when I raised my hand because for some reason I like impulsively was like, hey, I got something to add, and I like raised my hand like I'm in sixth grade or something.
Pick me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Except
like,
I'm the
Trundle's-
professor here, and I want to talk over the students. Like, what's going on?
Trundle's going to be a little bit stronger with this patch, and I think more people are going to realize that he is actually a pretty decent champion.
Well, the question
Now all
that I
we need
was
is for
going to
legendary.
pose
Now all we
was-
need is for a legendary enemy to come back.
Oh yeah.
What?
Remember
Yeah,
that
I'm
guy?
overall excited about the 2 rework. They're looking pretty good.
What
Yeah.
kept him from being used before, at least actively, and what makes him look more attractive now? We talked about Pillar, being a better CC than it was before, and the ult now dealing just a crazy amount of damage potentially. Are those the two big things? Like, what's the big difference here that we should be seeing?
I feel like the change to the animation speed with his Q is that was just annoying in general. Like he felt
Yeah.
kind of clunky, and that just.
I
kinda
actually
smoothed
think
the
that in general
clunkiness.
he's not going to be much different. Like he's
Yeah.
about the same as he was before. It's just that he was always strong, and like very few people realize just how strong Trundle was.
And I feel like his ultimate is just in general more of an impactful skill than it was, and there's no way for it to fall off.
Yeah.
And it's slightly the improvements to the clunkiness and the fact that Pillar interrupts channels, which like it made sense, but it didn't do that actually. It was one of those things where like it feels like it should do that, and now it
It's like
actually
I'm putting a giant slimy dick under someone, and it's not doing
it
anything.
should have like it knocked him out of the way, but never interrupted.
That's
so
a
they
custom
fix-
skin
they-
I
they
don't want to
fix-
see.
They fixed a couple clunky things like that, and then at the same time, I feel like the only thing that's really different is his ultimate, and his ultimate is definitely more impactful and better. And that's
Yeah.
what's going to make him played.
I feel like one of the reasons he's not played a whole lot is he's kind of item reliant. Like you need the CDR items, and then once you get your small core, then he starts wrecking. But he's,
he's
not
just like
Ninja
Hecarim in that
Javelin, which
regard. Like
runs-
you get a couple of items, and then you just start to become a monster.
I run the same build on both of them, so
I know. Well, actually, I actually don't go for Ghostblade on Hecarim where I do on Trundle.
I go for Frozen Fist on both of them.
Yeah, well, I don't actually really bother with Frozen Fist on Trundle. Well, unless like I do need that armor. Generally go for more of a Randuin's.
Does anyone else
They
have
have a
anything
big-
they want to add on Trundle?
You should play him.
Traditional skin for life.
Traditional
Always.
skin.
All right, traditional skin master race. So those are the two biggest changes here. Now let's just kind of skim down through the rest of these and
Yes.
comment on them a little bit, and then let's go get Arby's or something after this, guys. Pyroclasm, half-hearted. You play Brand. What does this have to do with anything?
Okay, so 4 weeks ago, about a bit over a month ago, I posted a thread in the bug forum saying, "Hey guys, Brand's ult is broken, and it occasionally doesn't bounce to minions. And yesterday it cost me a kill because it didn't bounce to minions. So it's fixed now, and I've been avoiding him for like 4 weeks because that thing wasn't fixed. So that's good, and I like that. And burn everything."
All right, Brand is Half-Hearted is the Brand savior. Corky, it looks like there was a bug with the missile barrage. Does anyone experience that or know anything about it?
Ask him, Cage.
Yeah.
MMKH, what do you think? He's
I
not
don't-
answering.
Was he like abusing
not
Tank
answering.
Corky or something?
Yeah,
With that?
MMKH
He plays AP Corky.
He's one of the few people out there who actually plays Corky. Like,
Yeah, he
AP
plays.
Corky was fun whenever he actually had ratios. I remember playing that, but then they nerfed all those, so I stopped.
no, I've never heard of this missile barrage thing, probably because I've never seen Corky. So
I'm sure the
No
Corky
one-
players are happy.
Must have been something
No
to
one
do with the
plays-
last patch of him making it 3 instead of 4.
All right,
Yeah.
let's move on to Mundo.
that's
Then, Cleaver and Masochism can actually now just be cast regardless of your health, which I
yeah,
think is a good
that's
change.
a
I
nice
like that.
quality of life thing. I
He
think.
he
Yeah.
can't kill himself now. That's
Well, it's not that he can't. I think he always couldn't.
He
kill himself.
couldn't.
It's
He
like
couldn't cast it.
He couldn't
He
do
needed
anything. at
health
one
to do it.
Like,
Okay.
he didn't have the ability to push buttons at 1 health. so now
I've
he has-
never been on 1 health on Mundo. It's just like
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to do whenever I have like.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do when you have 4K health. You know.
Yeah.
Or
whenever
Kaiser
you
kill
have
him.
4K health and 4K health and 100 health regen. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do.
And Draven, I'm going to read the red text
Not
here.
Draven.
In patch
Draven.
Draven. I got to meet that voice actor at IPL5, and he's such a cool dude. In patch
Really?
3.5, they changed Draven's spinning axe to lead Draven more accurately when he was benefiting from movement speed increases. Unfortunately, these changes were very disruptive for dedicated Draven players and didn't offer enough potential for skilled players to showcase their skill through covering long distances between throwing and catching. We decided to revert the change.
So basically, nothing changed. Yay.
They changed it back. It was actually super annoying. It used to be like, okay, the difference between the changes was whenever I was last hitting in lane on Summoner's Rift, I would last hit a minion and it would actually go like relatively close to me. But with the changes, they tried to make it so that whenever you press your W, it goes at the max range, so that if you're chasing them, it lands like right where you want it to be. If you're just going in a straight line directly at them. But like very seldom would that actually happen where you're playing an 80 carry and you're running directly at them, and they noticed that it was like kind of counterintuitive to how you play the champion. You kind of want it to fall short a little bit because you're not going to be directly just running in a straight line and chasing someone on an 80 carry. Like it's just kind of silly. And
Effectively, it gave movement prediction to where the axes lands in relation to where Draven was, right?
Yeah,
So when you
effectively.
pop your Bloodlust and you're running after someone to chase down for a kill real quick, that's when the axes would just start naturally. You wouldn't have to stop for a split second to catch the axe like you do with the old patch. I know Weasel's been playing a lot of Draven since the changes, and he said he's finally gotten the new one figured out, which now he's going to have to revert to the old one again.
the,
and
the,
he
old,
said-
the old one's better though, man. Like it's just like if you're just poking, if you're poking someone, the axe actually flies super far behind you
Yeah.
because it's
yeah.
trying to predict. Like you want to run like max range, right? So if you press W just to get 1 Q on someone and then turn around, the axe would actually fly super far back, and like you would actually lose auto attacks because you had to run too far back.
Yeah, I think they could tweak the formula just a little bit and find a really good middle ground, because like your Bloodlust is normally running out by the time you're turning around, so you're not going to be able to get to the axe in the first place.
I just want them
So-
to take out the random RNG axe, where you're standing still with double
Oh
axe.
that doesn't. I feel like it doesn't really add anything to Draven. Just makes him harder to play without like really.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure for Riot they're like, well, this is a chance for you to showcase more of your skill, but I'm like that doesn't really have a point. It just makes the champion unnecessarily hard to play.
Yeah, and it's like I'm trying to beat down a tank, and the tank isn't focusing me, and then like a random axe flies off to the side. I'm like, okay, well I'm gonna lose like 2 auto attacks. This is stupid.
All right, and we got Ezreal here, or we have rather. Pulsefire Ezreal fixed a bug where Pulsefire Ezreal was occasionally not see gold pop-ups for some of his last hit targets, and fixed a bug where Pulsefire Ezreal would play his death animation a second time if True Shot Barrage was leveled
That's
up.
kind of sad because
It's
the
a
more
pretty big nerf.
the more Ezreal deaths, the better.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big nerf. Like, I love seeing Ezreal die. If I see Ezreal die twice, that just like that's a good feeling. But yeah, I think it's a pretty big nerf to Summoner's Rift and Dominion morale in general. So
I thought
Yeah.
it was secretly intended by the people who made the Pulsefire Ezreal skin just so they could show off how cool the death animation is. I mean,
Again.
as if it wasn't enough that we kill
What
Ezreal
they
all the
really
time.
need to do, what they really need to do is make a bug where Teemo dies twice upon every death, and that
Yeah.
would make everyone very happy.
Oh man,
occasionally Teemo is stuck in a perpetual death animation and never.
it just keeps flipping around.
Yes.
You could use that to
Ugh.
power a turbine and give energy to New York.
Oh man.
Fiddlesticks' Drain Life fixed a bug where Fiddlesticks would not immediately attack his target after successfully channeling Drain Life. I like this. This is a
Good
little
for
thing
jungling.
I have
that
no
I like.
idea.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to understand the wording of that bug. You'd have to ask like Infeed or someone who actually plays.
If you're draining, after you're done draining, it'll like cancel
He
autos.
doesn't.
Like,
It's
if you're
weird.
like in the jungle and like you're starting
so
off
it's
like
just an
deletion
SR
goals.
thing. All right.
No,
It's a
it's
quality
relevant.
of life thing. It's a quality of life thing. It's like
yeah.
if you're
It's
draining
a quality of
target-
life thing, but it's mainly Summoner's Rift. Doesn't really
Yeah,
affect.
if you're draining a target, like the first time you've ever played Fiddle, if you've ever, like just drained a minion and then you just leave it on and like you let the whole drain happen, you'll sit there and not do anything after you drain the minion, and it's weird. It's like,
Yeah,
doesn't
like
make-
you S canceled. Like it's
Mhm.
Yeah,
Stop.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's gonna
it's
get all the
annoying as
last
hell. I like that change a lot because I got into playing Fiddlesticks when the Dark Candy Fiddlesticks skin came out. That's one of the skins I actually bought just because I loved the animation for Crowstorm in that. And that's like the first thing was like, Fiddle, are you dumb? Why aren't Fiddle? And I have to like click the thing. Now I don't have to click the thing anymore. It clicks it for me. I like it's this little change makes me so happy.
Oh man, Dota players are like, oh, they have to have everything tailored for you. Jeez.
I tell you what, go play Dota 2 and ask what champion you should play and watch everybody freak out.
Yeah, what champion do I play? You mean hero? What do you...
No, champion. They're champions, right?
They're champions, right? Yeah.
Oh, I've been told about a certain Dota champion that I know I would like. He's supposed to be basically super brand.
Super brand. That thought scares me.
Like
Super
okay, so Z Mike or someone told me about this champion. Imagine brand, but his ult bounces 11 times, and
Oh.
each bounce is a 100% AOE too. So.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Sounds like Dota.
Well, if I remember correctly, spell damage doesn't scale in Dota.
Yeah, but you have
so-
11 bounces, and each one, like when it hits, it deals an AOE. So if
Whip
two
my
people stand next to each
pyroclasm
other,
back
they're
and forth.
dead. Like it doesn't matter if you don't have skilling. If two people stand next to each other, you're dead. They're both dead.
That's pretty scary. I don't want. I hope Riot doesn't do that ever.
No, I tried playing Dota 2 versus bots. I hit level 3 in lane, and then I just died. And I was like, what happened? I was just...
Yeah, that's pretty much Dota 2 in a nutshell. Like
then I
stuff
just died.
dies in a story, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, you just blow up if you're not paying attention or you don't know what's going on.
I forgot to micro my champion. Why do minions hit so hard? This tower, I don't even. We got a couple karma changes here. With the previous patch changes, they increased karma's overall usability and mantra generation. Those changes are more focused on smoothing out karma's early game presence by giving a damage increase to Inner Flame's lower levels and buffing Inspire to make it far more effective level 1. Additionally, by lowering the cooldowns of 3 of Karma's abilities, including her mantra, Karma will synergize better with Gathering Fire, allowing her to scale in the late game. So, the changes here were Inner Fire's damage increased at early ranks and no change at max rank. So it's got some increases there. Focused Resolve's cooldown has been reduced slightly. It's reduced by 2 seconds at later ranks and less on earlier ranks. So it has an adjustment of overall 2 seconds as it levels up. And Inspire's cooldown has been reduced to 10 seconds from 12. Its movement speed bonus has gone up by a fair amount at
Huge
early
amount.
ranks. Like, it's doubled at rank 1, 20 to 40. So that's pretty significant. And Mantra's
Yeah,
cooldown reduction has been reduced. Instead of flat 45, it reduces later on. So Karma got the rework. Karma's really strong Now Karma's going from really strong to strong. Is that what I'm seeing here?
I think she's pretty strong right now. I feel like, I don't know, I play her bot lane a bit. That's just where I play her in general. And I feel like she's a little bit of a weaker Syndra at the moment. Like, it just feels like that.
She has better utility than Syndra, though. Like, I feel
Like,
She
like
does
top
have
three
she has
times.
better.
Fine already. Like, this is just them not balancing the map for Dominion. Just think about Summoner Rift completely.
Yeah,
Like,
and on Dominion though,
Yeah, Karma's already fairly strong, and now
the
she's just
focus
gonna
resolve cooldown is like a big deal, and the base
Yeah.
movement speed on Inspire is insane. Because like I don't know, the way I leveled her is I max Q and then I max W, and I felt like
Oh, I actually did the other way around. I did QE.
yeah, you do QE. Well, bot lane I did QW, and then like
Yeah, I can see that.
and then but that makes that level order better because Inspire is a 40% movement speed instead of 20% movement speed at rank 1 since I left it at rank 1 for so long. So I'm like super excited about this. And the fact that Mantra's cooldown scales down means I'm going to have it up all the time because it lowers the cooldown if you hit your abilities in general.
Yeah.
That's pretty huge. And I already go 40% CDR because the whole thing with Karma is like, hey, I'm gonna win.
Yeah, I'm
bot
gonna max
because
CDR and get a ton of AP and impin.
I'm gonna max CDR and kite like crazy. So
Her top
I
lane.
still don't think she's gonna be played on on Summoner's Rift, so I don't really know. Like this made her stronger for Minion, but
Wallux is definitely gonna be happy.
Mm-hmm.
on SR she's like a tier 2 support, but this might bump her up to like playable range and competitive play, but I don't know about that.
Yeah,
She's pretty bad. She's actually a pretty bad mid laner in SR.
yeah, I can see that.
She doesn't have a real ultimate. Like that's just what it is.
So for Dominion, these are just all. This is just pure good for her.
Yeah,
Pure
For,
good. 100%
yeah, for
good.
Dominion, like she's already strong and she's just getting stronger. Like
That
I
debuff
don't
is gonna
think
be
she's
really
going to be
useful.
overbearingly strong, but she is definitely going to be stronger.
All right, and Lulu's mana per level increased by 5. That's just not necessary. Glitterlance's mana cost has gone up.
Oh
I'm happy
boy,
with that.
mana nerfs. They totally make a big difference on Dominion.
But-
We-
We have that increased
yeah,
passive
like
mana regen
basically here in Dominion we have Chalice's passive as an aura ×2, and we have mana relics all over the place. Like that's not going to affect her.
Mana relics give you like almost full mana.
you
Yeah.
max Q anyways, so like you'll hit that 80 fast anyway, so it's not gonna be noticeable.
There's still a lot of people that don't realize, by the way, the health relics in Dominion do also give mana when you pick them up.
Oh yeah, I had some people telling me that on stream. They're like, "Those give mana too?" I was like, "Yeah, it gives you like all of your mana back. Grab
Yeah,
those. They're
yeah.
helpful."
Yeah, they give a fat amount of mana.
There's
I think
a
it's,
reason
I think
why-
it's a
It's
like
flat amount,
I'm
though.
playing ARAM, and I'm like, you're low on mana. Go grab a health pack, and like I'm just thinking it to myself, and I'm like, why are you
Those
not?
can make and break a bot lane, depending on how you control them.
Oh yeah.
Health relics are important. It's like 1v1 on Murder Bridge. Health
All right.
relics win the game.
Malzahar, Call of the Void, mana cost reduced at later ranks by small amounts. Null Zone, mana cost reduced. Nothing really to see here.
That will help 80 Malzahar though, because like I know 80 Malzahar spams everything in order to have his void links constantly up, and any sort of mana cost buff is good to him. And that's like 20 on his 20 on his Q and another 20 on his E. Like that's 40 mana per. He's saving 40 mana per rotation, so it's going to be pretty significant for 80 Mals.
He's an old champ with old mana costs, so it's
Yeah.
gonna be nice to see him.
They're just
Reduced.
changing it to reflect like new champions that do similar damages with this mana cost. They're just changing it to be similar.
New champions that do similar damage by mana cost. Has anyone looked at Kha'Zix's Q recently? What? Hi, I do more damage than some ultimates in this game. Blat! Oh. weird.
Release Kha'Zix, release Jace.
Oh,
Think
man.
about that. Just
Now,
let
I'm gonna-
that mull around.
I'm going to talk about this one because I love Nasus a lot, and this makes me unhappy. 95% boost speed and attack speed reduction at max levels. Wither was completely shutting down champions relying on auto attacks with no opportunity for counterplay by reducing the attack speed slow. Nasus is still effective at suppressing champions, but his victims will now have the option to turn and fight. Look, Riot, okay. It slowly
Okay, so now
increased over
Malphite
time.
is or So now Nasus is Malphite instead of being completely ridiculous. I'm perfectly okay with
Look,
this.
Nasus was
Yeah.
completely ridiculous for approximately 1.5 seconds because it's scaling. It's not just flat 95%. It
Yeah, but it
ramped
scales
up to
really,
that
really
point.
fast. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's greedy to want Nasus to have like a 5-second stun against 80 carries though. That's
yeah, like,
Yeah.
Well,
you
here's the
basically
question:
remove
what
80
else
ability
does
to do anything.
Nasus bring to the table
You
in
It's
remove
a
an
Dominion?
cooldown.
Nasus
Yeah.
actually brings a lot to the table. Like his E is like an AOE.
He's
huge
really
damage
strong
armor
now,
It's
shred.
an AoE armor
His
shred.
His R gives him health and a fuck ton of damage. And his
Percentage
E gives him
damage.
More damage. Like he
I-
still
I-
brings huge utility to the
Well,
table.
in Dominion though, he doesn't really benefit from the Q farm nearly as much as in Summoner's Rift. And when
can
I
still
get
benefit.
Doesn't matter.
I've been terrorized by bot lane Nasus before.
yeah, but you're not running around with 682.
The way I played him is I just played him top and realized that I'm just going to not get Q farm, and then all of his other abilities are really OP. Kind of like how they play it on SRs, where they're just like, the Q farm's kind of negligible. I'm just going to build him pure tank because all of his base damages and the things that his abilities do just at base, like the armor.
Yeah, I know. Like you can still build
Black
Nasus
Fire
very-
Torch on him.
I found that Nasus
Win
worked
game.
really well, similar to the same way that Wukong works with any other AD character because of Spirit Fire having such an awesome armor reduction. You pop that with the Wither, and then whoever your designated AD is, Zidzao, Wukong, Darius, whatever, is going to eat that guy up. But the problem is, if I got caught 1v1 with someone, like, Wither's the only thing that kept me alive, really, because Nasus is kind of a poor duelist compared to other people
like
because he doesn't have a hard CC.
the movement speed slow is still the exact same, so you can just run away from them. Like
Yeah, and against
that's
the
intense.
melee champions that he counters, that'll still completely counter them. Like, hey
Yeah.
Darius, I'm gonna wither you, and then you're completely useless.
Yeah, I'll still carry exhaust on him. Just wither and then wait for wither to be up and then exhaust right after, and then you wither right after exhaust.
It's just it's going to
You're-
draw out fights that used to not be as long as they are.
It's like Teemo.
And I'm gonna have to
blind,
run away more.
exhaust, blind.
I think that people prioritize the Q farm a little too much, at least on Dominion,
Yeah.
because it's just kind of negligible. Like, you're not going to reach. You're not trying to farm for 20 minutes on Dominion. I don't think.
Yeah, it's like people are like Vigor's so bad in Dominion. Like, yeah, he's kind of bad, but at the same time, he has one of the best damn stuns in the game, and his numbers are really high.
Vigor
played him on
zones so
ARAM.
hard.
Oh
If
my
you
god,
can,
Vigor's so good in ARAM. I love the
Ugh.
champion.
But yeah,
I-
the Nasus change I don't like, but I guess
Everyone else
deal with
does.
It's needed. He became too popular in SR too quick.
Yeah.
And he's
I
being
played him
spammed
for,
every
for
single
Dominion,
game.
I don't
with
like it. In SR, I don't really care because I'm usually using
Yeah.
Wither to set up for my teammates anyway.
Yeah,
When I play
Wither
top Nasus.
is still. I think it's still the strongest flow in the
I
game.
still think that what Riot needs to do is they need to change how attack speed slows work with auto attack animations, because like that's just now like you cut someone's attack speed, and now they can't even auto attack because it takes too long to auto attack. Like you remove someone's ability to stutter step and kite basically. So like
Play
I do
Nasus.
think Riot needs to revisit how their attack speed system works.
Attack speed slow just stuns auto attackers.
It's like just playing Nasus and Twist Tree Line. Your other members don't even need to carry exhaust. That's how it is right now.
Yeah.
And then like you just see anyone who has attack speed cry in chat.
Yeah, my
Like
battle
the
cry.
Jax who dies into 3 of you and QQing about Wither.
Yeah, Nasus in 1v1 against, like, in particular, against Jax was where I felt Wither made me extremely strong. And that's, yeah.
I mean, it's not going to affect his
Sorry
late game any. He's going to still
playing
destroy
Nasus.
late game.
Yeah. Like, Nasus is one of those guys who just hyper scales, and then he has, like, this ridiculously powerful utility, too.
I just look at his ultimate and I'm like, that's a thing.
Well, I watch Nasus's, and when they hit R, I just watch their AD. Like, I stop watching a fight and just watch their AD count. It just starts climbing. Like a typical Nasus can get, like if he's in the middle of stuff, he'll get like 100 AD or something before his ult expires.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's,
what the fuck?
That's the important part. A lot of people really don't realize if you're gonna pop that R with Nasus,
Like,
stand
if
in
you're
some
fighting
minions.
Nasus in the middle of your own minion wave, that's bad news for you, because he's getting a ton of power just by standing there.
And the minions
I-
aren't doing anything because of the health steal. So
I
it's
think that they
great.
should. I think that they should remove the stacking component of his Q and just buff the base damage of it. Honestly.
Yeah, like what Raj do with like the infinite stacking champions is make them not infinite stacking so they can actually balance them.
Hmm.
I don't think that should even be a thing. I think that his Q should just have a solid base damage, and it's like already an auto attack reset, so I like it anyway. Like even if I don't have any stacks on it, it's like whatever.
I feel like Riot neutered the crap out of Thresh's numbers because he has infinite scaling.
Yeah, they could have made
This is-
Thresh a lot just
Yeah.
stronger base-wise, but they're like, nah, he goes up too
No,
much.
let's give him infinite scaling. That way we have to nerf the shit out of the rest of his kit.
Just like a 500 plus farm queue against towers.
Yeah.
Oh man.
There's
Plus
nothing more
Eternity Force.
satisfying than getting that
Like a
like
one-shot
crazy
tower.
farm though, and then just blasting someone.
Yeah, I was
That is
actually.
awesome.
I remember a while back, someone just did like a custom co-op game, like himself 1v5 against like 5 bots, and he was an Aces, and like by the end of the game, he had like 700 Q farm.
I got 682 in a real game recently. It was pretty awesome, but it was against a Jax up top, so I got to like 200 something before the lane phase ended. I was running exhaust wither, so
Yeah,
like, I
you-
would wither Jax, I'd exhaust the other guy, and then I would just run, just pop my ult and run, and it was
A
just,
late game, you pop your ult and you turn on them, and they die a horrible, horrible death.
yeah. See, Jax knew, but the rest of the team didn't know what my Q was capable of. So like later on, I had like this Draven come up behind me and just start chucking axes, and I just like walked up to him, blasted him for half his health, and he just like flashes over the wall and just like disappears.
Whimpers away.
I saw a
alright.
video where it was basically like Nasus, you know, like so like the video is basically sped up him farming, and then at the end of the video, like he walks up to a Vayne and Qs her for like 3/4 of her health bar, and he has no AD items at all. It's just his Q farm.
I did one where I had a lot of lifesteal, and I had to queue people to live in fights. That was my favorite game ever because I'm like frantically trying to find a minion or anything to hit so I can stay alive.
Like Nunu.
Oh man. Hey, speaking of Nunu, I love this.
I need the minions.
I love this little change on Nunu. Consume. It no longer expends Visionary if the target dies before Consume resolves. That's great. I love
Well,
it.
Consume's animation is just terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes way too long.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's a retardedly powerful skill. So,
Mhm.
And
It's just an
Olaf-
old champion.
oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna nom a minion for like 1,000 health back. Have fun trading with me. It's like, and I can do it every 5 seconds. You
You did
know.
some damage? What? Huh? Oh, by the way, Snowball. Have fun running from there.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Olaf got the same change that that
Mundo
Mundo got,
did,
which
yeah.
I like because that was one of the things that annoyed me playing Olaf is because sometimes I
Yeah.
get into situations where I'm retreating at low health and I can't slow the other guy, and I'm like, what? I'm like 8 health short or something. I've happened.
Yeah, or
I've
like,
happened
or like,
twice.
I'm fighting people and I'm about to die, and I'm like, I want to nuke the shit out of you before I die. You know, just because fuck you.
Mhm.
So let me drop
But I
the
can't do
lightning
that
now.
because I'm at 1 health.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
I'm not gonna play Olaf till they change his ult back to having flat armor pen instead of activating it.
Oh, that's not happening, my
Oh,
friend.
that's pretty scary.
That's not happening.
I want it
Okay.
back.
He was too strong.
We got a wall of text for Quinn here. Riot wanted to highlight Quinn's great strengths as an unconventional AD carry with high cross-map mobility. That's
If they want to do that,
weird
they should have
sentence.
made her ult a toggle. Like, they seriously should have made her ult a toggle instead of this long-ass cooldown piece of shit.
Like, it's a little bit of an awkward sentence to read, but as such, Quinn can now use tag team more reliably in and out of fights. The additional movement speed on heightened senses should allow her to remain more elusive in skirmishes. For the other two changes, they gave blinding assault and ability power ratio so that players can gain some additional power while building items like Trinity Force.
Oh, yeah.
Or when receiving the Baron Nashor buff. For Vault, they added a mini stun on Quinn's target as she dashes
Okay,
toward
that's
them,
pretty strong.
making it
yeah.
more
Yeah.
reliable as an escape. So, Blinding Assault now has a 0.5 AP ratio. Heightened Senses now gives 20, 30, 40, 50, 60% movement speed in addition to the attack speed bonus. Vault now briefly interrupts the target, so you got an interrupt right there. That's great, and a little bit of like a forces them to stutter and screw up their movement. And then Tag Team, the maximum movement speed bonus went up to 80, 90, 100 instead of just flat 80 all ranks. The base movement speed went up at later ranks from 20 at all, and the cooldown has gone up at later
Down,
ranks.
actually.
No, is it? Am I reading it backwards? Oh, the
It's
cooldown's
reading
gone down at
backwards,
later
yeah.
ranks.
It's a lower cool.
Sometimes
Okay, so
they have
the
it
vault change is
switched
by
on the
far
list.
the biggest by far the biggest change they gave to her.
Yeah,
Like that,
she's gonna be-
being able
well-
to stun people when she vaults them is huge.
Her heightened
Malzahar
sense
begins
passive
the,
granting movement speed as
Yeah,
well.
that's also
That's-
pretty good.
that
I
is-
still maintain that Riot should have turned her ult into a toggle like with Jace. Like she goes from a range form to a melee form like every 5 seconds or something like that.
It's just
That would have been cool. I think I
Yeah,
would
it
have
would
done
have
more.
been cool,
so
but
strong. Like
no.
it makes
this
this
champion's
so
jokes. Why is her range so stupid? Like I think they wanted to make, hey, let's make an 80 carry that has low range and is good. It's like it just doesn't make sense to me. And then
Yeah.
Graves.
giving her an ability power ratio. Well, see, the thing with Graves is that like
Quinn, go.
he has to get close. Therefore, we should give him a tank passive. Okay, that makes sense to me. But with her, it's like, oh, how are we gonna fix the fact that she has low range? Well, we're just gonna give her an ability power ratio. Like it's just a joke. I was just laughing the whole time and working.
Yeah,
The
like
blinding assault
like,
ratio
Sivers-
makes no
Sivers still
sense.
crying.
really with Quinn, I think she almost plays like AD. She's more of, you have to play like a melee AD carry like Yi or Fiora or something.
I do think the movement speed bonus on heightened senses is a big deal, but other than that, like everything's just. I feel like the champion design is just bad. I don't like. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty biased. I just don't like. I don't like characters that benefit from building glass but have to get in melee range in order to really use their whole kit. Like it's just silly to me. I don't really get it. But the
more
vault
like-
thing is good because the way I played her is I was like, the only thing I can even do is max vault second to lower the cooldown and to reset my positioning in fights. Like, because like a bunch of bruisers would jump on my face. The only thing I have to get away is vault, so I need it up more.
Like, I started having like a lot of success with her when I started building her like Rengar, not like a regular AD carry. I would just like get tons
Yeah.
of cooldown reduction. Like I started having a lot better time on her.
Yeah, it makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, because it's just she's not an 80 carry. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you build her
They
more like a
give-
ranged
they put
bruiser, it should work out better.
You're
They
gonna-
put the ability power ratio on there so you can get Trinity Force. I
Yeah,
guess.
Trinity
It's
Force.
Trinity Force anyway. Why do
Yeah.
AP.
I want to build Trinity Force
But
in 80?
you just get extra, I guess, off of it.
Because tons of damage.
Tons of damage.
Like
That's-
one.
Like I think it was the Vayne spotlight on Vayne release. Like Freak built the Trinity Force on her. Like, so
Well,
bad.
you queue every 2 seconds, so obviously Trinity Force is the way to go and not take advantage of her insane scaling.
on Sivir too. Trinity.
Oh
Force
god, Trinity Force Sivers. Like, why? Just go like Ghostblade Last Whisper and just you become a super powerful AD caster.
All right.
Yeah.
I like the few times I've seen it played, like she can make some really good plays like cross the map because of it. I mean not casting levels, but the movement speed can really get you like to other places.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you do is you.
But then
you
you're
let your
glass,
team,
so you gotta help.
Yeah,
hope that they're half
you
health.
let your team whittle them down, and then you catch one person
Well,
because
you-
you couldn't
like
actually
I
enter
said,
the
you-
fight with your range.
Well, that's exactly what you do. You play her like a melee AD carry, but without her ult, she doesn't have the steroids to be a melee AD carry. So she's like a ranged carry that wishes it was a melee carry, but doesn't quite have the stats until she presses R.
She wants to be Talon a little bit, wants to just jump in and press R, but it does less damage than Talon, and then she doesn't go invisible. So
No, she does play a lot more like Yi or Fiora. Like she waits till everyone gets low, then she goes in with insane steroids and plays cleanup.
Right, because
That's-
Talon doesn't have AP ratios, but
And
Yeah,
that's
but she is
why I
a
think her
favorite
ult should have been a toggle, because like it just gives her like the huge movement speed and attack speed steroid bonus that she needs to actually do things. Like her ult needs to be on a lower, like 80 seconds. I still think that's too long. Like that's supposed to be like a core part of her kit. Like the way she was advertised, it was like Quinn and Valor. Like when she was originally created on the PvE, when you bought Quinn, it wasn't Quinn. You bought Quinn and Valor, and I really
Yeah.
do feel that the Riot
Two
Mystic
chance
Chance
price
really
woman.
capitalize on that.
true.
All right, we got a couple other little changes here. Rumble Flame Spitter no longer prevents Rumble from automatically acquiring basic attack targets. That's just a nice little change.
happy about it. It's the same as Fiddle.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, he doesn't just stop
just trying
for
to
no
1v1,
reason.
they don't stop.
Shen Keystrike fixed the bug that caused Keystrike being consumed when attacking wards. This was
What's a ward?
stupid, and I'm glad they
What are
fixed it.
wards?
It's that thing in Treeline that you don't buy?
Actually, the wards aren't in Tree Line either. They're
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
in Summer's Rift.
I have this lantern that I keep, like, whenever I go to play Summer's Rift, I keep looking in the store, but I never find the lantern. And people keep
I'm
escaping
looking
into
for
bushes.
Sweeper.
And I'm like, I need to pop my lantern. He's in the bush. I can't
A
see
ward
him
is
anymore.
like a lantern that you throw into a bush and it stays there.
Where's
Oh.
this? Where's the sweeper in SR? I don't see it.
Oh,
Yeah, I've been
the
looking for it
best
too when
item
I
in the
played.
That
game.
10% move
Like-
speed, I want it.
Yeah,
I know.
I was talking to Zachers, and I know he loves Sweeper.
Sweeper would be a disaster in Summoner's Rift. I love
Oh,
him.
it would ruin it. Everyone would build it. Like 80 carries.
Summoner's
build
Rift
it.
would be over right then. They just close
Well,
it down.
Well, I
80
mean, they would
carries
have to remove.
actually build that item for the
Oh,
move.
wait! But they would have to remove wards in order to put Sleeper in, so that would be awesome because no more
Junglers
fucking.
could actually
No,
get-
because then the viewers would stop watching because there's no ward kills for them
There's
to cheer
no
for.
ward kills.
And then
So when
then
it's
Zao
40
would
minutes
be
of no
best
team
champion.
fights. Oh God, that game!
That
Jungler
was
sounds
terrible.
Cheering over ward kills.
I
yeah,
had that
this is
happen.
a-
Zachary
I've
stole
been
my
in the
Dominion
audience for
build.
that. It was weird. Like,
Dude,
guys,
I just want to say that. He stole my Rumble build. But he has his own.
It was the CLG EU and WE game, I think, in the finals that they had to keep redoing it because the servers kept crashing out on them at the stadium.
Mhm.
So it was just like 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Okay, guys, we're not going to do it again.
Yeah.
all right. Sivir's got a little bit of a change here too. Sivir's Fleet of Foot also grants effective boomerang blade and ricochet hit champions. I love that. That's great.
yeah,
That's
that's
pretty-
pretty
that's
good. Like now,
Long ranged ability to activate
if she tags someone with her Q, she now gets movement speed. That's really strong.
Yeah, that'll be really helpful for her on closing the gap, especially because her ult, she's got to stand still and shout. Then she can run after people.
So
I
this
don't
next.
see her playing in Dominion though. Still.
Yeah,
500.
that makes her
I don't know.
better
I
in
could
lane and not
potentially
better
see
in
her.
lane.
I could I've played her a couple times in ARAM, and she feels really, really strong when she's built as like just a pure 80
Like,
cast.
Yeah, really
go
late
play
game,
Last
gets
Whisper
ridiculous.
Zeeks. You get max CDR and you get a ton of armor penetration, and you just go to town. Like Boomerang Blade hits like a goddamn truck.
I think
Yeah.
it's the same problem with Quinn though. It's just that she's a little bit better than Quinn. In fact, in order for her to actually get auto attacks in between her abilities, you just have to get too close. It's just too close.
Like, but she her Q does so much damage, and it does it in an AOE too. Like she can actually do things without having the auto attack. It's like
But
have you looked
I
at the
feel
base
like you're
numbers?
wasting potential. You're wasting
Have
potential.
you
for
looked?
not playing
I
effective.
don't actually agree with that. I actually think she's better as an AD caster. Like, have you looked at the numbers on her Q yet?
I'm looking it up right now.
I've played it that way, and it's just not enough.
I've always played her like pure AD carry with like Phantom Dance or stuff like that, and just go burst people down. Like
I used to do that. I used to.
198% of bonus AD is the max damage with 432 base if you hit them on the forward and back.
Yeah, it's a strong ability. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that like other champions can also auto attack in between them and have the abilities to let them do that. Like just Talon, like Kha'Zix, you know what I mean? They can auto attack between their abilities because their kit allows it. They have like the mobility.
Yeah, well, the difference here is that Sivir does it at range. Like,
She can do it
Her, her
safely.
spell shield is annoying.
She doesn't have
That's
arcane
bad.
shift, so
Yeah.
so you have
She
to-
can.
She
can
does have the
block
team.
spell,
She does
though.
have the team steroid though. Like team move attack speed steroids. That's pretty strong.
we're taking
I'd rather
towers.
go
Yeah.
invisible. I'd rather go invisible than block a spell.
Well, Talon's Talon.
And
He's ridiculously
Kha'Zix.
strong.
And
Twitch.
like other 80 casters.
Kha'Zix is more of a single target assassin, in my opinion. And Twitch is
Yeah.
dependent on his R button.
Yeah.
Twitch, but
Twitch doesn't even need items.
Twitch
Man.
either wins big or goes home. That character.
Twitch is
I
awesome.
think Twitch is the strongest AD carry that isn't Ezreal on Dominion, in my opinion.
Twitch is up. Twitch is definitely up there with like the likes of Ez and Kraogg. That's for sure.
I like the Twitch's alt a long time ago. The old alt. where you can
I've
one-shot.
heard. I've heard about it. I've
Don't even
heard
talk
about it. Like
TF's
Every
teleport
match
used to
they'd
not be his ult.
Twitch's ult used to
Yeah.
turn his auto attacks into an AoE pulse around himself. So
When I used to play Twitch, it was like 3 to 4 pentakills a game, every game.
yeah, it's like you combine
they
that
was
with Kale's
pentakill.
5-second invincibility of back then, and you just
And dodge. Don't
you-
forget
you-
about dodge.
stealth into the middle
When
of
the
the
ult
team,
attacks,
top R,
it's
and everything
for the
dies.
time, the full time.
Oh,
So you get like max attack speed, insta kill team.
Yeah, if you
How-
guys think that the game balance, viewers, if you guys think that the game balance now is out of whack, man, you should have been around for like beta and like early league. Oh my god.
Ezreal had
whenever-
a heal.
No.
Ezreal could heal things as well as being broken.
There were dark ages. They were very dark.
Pre-rework Jack being the most absurd thing that has ever existed. What?
Phantom Dancer is 100% dodge.
Udyr, man, you can fight whole teams with Udyr and never die. Like, forever with Udyr.
Innervating Locket. Wow.
Oh,
That rocket.
IV Vigor for the win.
Oh man.
All I do is hit buttons until people stop existing because I'm plugged into the Summoner Platform's mana fountain, so I don't run out. We got a couple other characters here. I got Thresh. Death Sentence and its passive are providing too many benefits at early levels with their high poke, burst damage, and lowered cooldowns. By moving the passive damage from Death Sentence to Flay, Thresh players will now need to think strategically about how they level their skills. Death Sentence's damage has gone up at later ranks, and its passive moved over to Flay. Now, Flay's damage has gone down at later ranks. It has Death Sentence's previous passive, and there's some bug fixes. Is Thresh viable yet, guys?
Nope.
He's impossible to be played on Dominion because of the way that his souls interact with his armor. Like, his base armor is static, and then he gains armor with how many souls he gets. And just the amount of minions that die on Dominion are significantly less than any other map, so it just doesn't work.
Yeah. I was attempting to play him bot lane. It's just he has like very little pressure bought up.
Yeah, like he's
So,
not going to be able to bully anything.
Like I was doing the lantern ganks on bot lane with like Xin Zhao. You like lantern Xin in, and then hook them, and then Xin insta kills the bot lane.
Yeah, the only way I even made him work at all was, like, I played him bot lane against, you have to play him bot purely because of the way that his souls work, which sucks because he actually works in conjunction with other champions better, but the way that his souls work is you have to gather souls in order to even have armor, so you have to force him to go bot, and then he's like...
And his numbers are so low, too, like, he doesn't hardly do any damage. Low damage, long cooldowns.
I have like 100% win rate playing him AD Thresh.
Someone
Yeah,
has
his
a
AD is
100%
really
win rate
strong.
with him, and,
You get him an ARAM and build 80 carry, he just like melts people.
You can't see me shaking my head, but I assure you I am.
Hopefully when Riot implements the separate balancing on maps, they'll remove the soul mechanic from him.
Or maybe just give him passive, like,
and just
increase.
bump up his base stats a bit. Like, he
Ryan
needs something.
Like, no,
Or make
needs
all
to do a lot of
minions.
things.
If they made
for
all
Thresh.
minions drop souls guaranteed in Dominion for Thresh,
Maybe.
I think that would be fine.
Maybe.
Because then you could take him up top as long as you swung by and cleared that wave.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
he could
it's only
sit on
like
the tower
the-
pretty easily.
Lantern.
My
I think so
problem,
did the math that he had to get like 90 souls before he's like has the stats of like a basic tank.
my problem with Thresh though is that like even if every single minion drops a soul, like you spend like at high level Dominion, you spend a large portion of your time in the jungle, so he's not going to be near minions for like a good portion of the game. And if you are up top, you're making yourself a target. Like you aren't
Or
putting
telling
pressure
the
on
enemy team
people.
to go
you
bot
aren't-
lane.
Like you just
Yeah, you could go bot lane and do like a swap thing. Like if they have like a bot laner that's susceptible to like a bot laner that doesn't really have high pressure, which I don't understand why you would even pick that. But if for some reason they pick a weak bot, you can put Thresh against it and he'll become a tank god if they make that happen.
Yeah,
But the thing is with SR, like by the time you hit level 6 in SR, you have 50 souls.
well, because there's 6 to 7 minions dying in lane at a time.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of souls dropping.
You get
I was
jungle
in
tree.
Sauron's vein, and it's like it wasn't very fun.
yeah, I could see how that wouldn't be good for you.
I couldn't do the damage to fight him. I had Thornmail. It's like I couldn't do
I
anything.
think I was actually watching a game. You were like Thornmail tank with a
Yeah,
vampire scepter
I
on
was
the
trying to
side.
just fight him off, and it wasn't. I couldn't do anything to it.
Yeah, like
And
there's
the box feels like utterly useless.
The box
Yeah.
is not even a thing. I just walked through it.
it's
like not
basically
real.
it's
And that
basically an
makes me
inferior.
so sad. That makes me so sad
The
because
box
it's really,
is an
really
ability that's-
strong. It's so
It's a
strong.
good skill. It's just the cooldown's far too long on it for Dominion.
It's an inferior
Yeah.
Vagar E. That's what it is. Like it's basically Vagar's E, but worse.
But the thing with SR though is that like support Thresh has like 150 AP and then it like chunks everyone. It's ridiculous. But that just doesn't happen on Dominion. It's the soul mechanic. The soul mechanic just ribbons it on
thing-
Dominion.
That's the thing with SR. Like a little bit of stats like goes a long way because like no one really builds defensive. They let their like jungler build the AGs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone
and then
goes
the
classy.
support getting free stats from not farming is strong.
Yeah.
All right, we got Udyr over here. Bunch changes to Tiger Stance.
Oh dear.
Udyr.
No more.
Ooh, dear. I love that name so much. Tiger Stance, the active damage changed to physical instead of magic, which I like.
Oh yeah.
Active damage changed from... Oh, I hate it when they do number blocks like this because they're really hard for me to read. My eyes hate it.
They nerfed it at Earth
Basically,
Rank.
yeah, they
Scaling-
nerfed the early game scaling on it.
Okay, yeah, so it scales at a flat rate as opposed to changing. Its attack speed has gone up significantly.
That's actually not entirely true because how it worked before was like the persistent, like it would passively give you attack speed. When you activate it, it gives you more attack speed. So now what they did was they took all the attack speed and they front loaded it into the activation instead of having half of it just be passive. So overall, it's like the attack speed change is a slight nerf, I think.
New persistent effect.
But he has a new passive now that actually does damage on hit. So I would say it's a buff overall.
Yeah, it's gonna be a buff because he's already stance swapping between turtle and bear and that.
I don't even go. I don't even go
You
Tiger.
Q them and you immediately get max stacks. Oh boy.
I don't even go Tiger. I go Phoenix. I don't even do that.
I don't know. Tiger Deer is actually a
Tiger's gonna be strong.
I always leave Bear at 3, and I max the other 3 out. I max Tiger, Phoenix, and Turtle.
I just went straight. Like I would go straight Bear and then Phoenix and then Turtle.
Jaja Deer.
Bear Slap is OP. Speaking of Bear Slap, he only dashes when stunning champions.
I think that means he doesn't do it to minions anymore. 'Cause
Oh, I did not know that he dashed to minions. That was,
yeah, I think while you have your move speed
that
up,
would
you
have been
can dash
interesting.
into
Was
him.
like you walk up to like minions going to lane, like you just that would be interesting. That's interesting abuse case.
All right, we got a couple of small changes here. Vayne Condemn, the range now accurately matches her attack range.
That's
I like
a huge.
this.
That's a huge range buff. Like she's gaining like 150, 200 range on Condemn because of that.
Yeah, I really like that a
Yep.
lot. I'm bad at Vayne, but I play her sometimes for giggles, and that's just one thing that's always annoyed me about her.
Yeah,
And
talking
yeah,
about
you can auto
about
them
it.
and not-
It's gonna be nice. It was annoying before.
Vi's Vault
That's different
Breaker
ranges.
fixed a bug that caused Vault Breaker to become unstable or uncastable, after activation. I'm not familiar with that bug. Is anyone else?
I never heard of
It's
it.
never happened to me.
Okay. And Excessive Force can no longer be cast while charging Vault Breaker. Does anyone care?
So no R into fully charged Q combo.
Okay, that's good. Because Vi's
I hate her
scary.
Q anyways. It's really
Yeah.
annoying. I hate when she Qs Maokai out of his twisted advance. It's pretty annoying. He
Isn't
should be
untar-
immune.
Wait, he's
she
not
can Q him.
untargetable. Wow.
He
She
is
does that
supposed
with
to be
a lot of
untargetable, but
people.
she could Q.
I
yeah,
did not know she could do that.
It's kind of like
Yeah,
Yi
I
and
got
Alpha
punched out
Strike.
of it.
It's kind of like Yi and Alpha Strike, where like AOE ability still hits them.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
pretty
like
right there. Like you're
I actually watched the
No,
video where I
because
died to
it's like a bug with her because you can like go through Jarvan's pop up and you'll end up where he jumped from. It's like
That's weird.
Yeah, I actually remember seeing a Fiora die to a Rumble once, like while Fiora was ulting, like she popped ult and then died. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, some champions are like pseudo untargetable,
I don't know.
whereas Elise and Zed are actually untargetable.
All right, Zach has increased transparency when in brush. What? Does this matter?
Sophie!
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
OP because whenever I would walk into a bush, I'm like, I can't tell if I'm in the bush or not. I'm the same color.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it right there.
Yeah.
Can you even skin tell that you're really in the bush with his purple one either? Because it looks like he was just standing there out of the bush.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. Like you have a hard time actually figuring out whether he's properly stealthed or not. So
Yeah, it's
They're
not.
By
both-
the way,
I'm
Speaking
surprised
of
that
that,
is not
being
like
this-
a buff that appears on your bar to let you know. I'm surprised there's not like a hard visual like that for it.
Like Rengar passive.
Something.
Yeah, Rengar
What's up?
passive.
By the way, I think Zach is a really strong champion. People should play him more.
Yeah, Zach he's fairly strong, and he's
I'm trying.
like everyone who's played him has said that he's fun as hell too. So
Oh, he's amazing.
He's getting into the range where people are like spamming him and Summoner's Rift, and they're like, well, he's a Malus champion. I'm not sure if he's any good though. And then they play him, and they're like, oh, he's kind of broken. It feels like I don't know.
Yeah.
And then like now he's consistently crushing like top level games, and they're like, oh, he's pretty OP. And then no one plays.
Right,
No
the
one plays.
conversation with Calvin.
well, I mean,
about-
he basically has casted and blink, but with a AOE knockup associated to it on a really short cooldown too. So
Yep.
strong gangs.
His
and
ult
an
class is
SR,
low enough to be good too. I think on Dominion, so I don't see why people don't play it.
All right. Zed's got a few changes here. Living Shadow's cooldown has gone down a little bit, and Shadow Slash hitting minions and monsters no longer reduces Living Shadow's cooldown, and hitting enemy champions reduces Living Shadow's cooldown by 2 seconds. So this is just basically so you can't machine gun that, right?
No, it's like it makes it so that your Living Shadow reduces your W's cool your Shadow Slash reduces the cooldown of Living Shadow, which is your W, the blink thing, the shadow thing.
Yeah.
The way it used to work is if you could just spam your E on minions and lower your W's cooldown over and over and over again. And now it's like the cooldown overall is lower, but you only reduce
You
it by
have to hit
hitting
champions.
so they're trying to make it so that he can't just farm up his
Free
escape
harass.
minions.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
can't. You can't like frequently free harass and land like that.
Yeah, you frequently harass with your escape ability. It just kind of doesn't make sense. So they're making it so that in order to have your escape ability up, you have to hit a champion with it, which makes you get closer. So
Overall, I'm actually interested. Like, assuming that you are constantly spamming Shadow Slash I'm actually interested in like how it compares. Like, someone needs to map out like whether it's assuming you do actually consistently hit it, whether it's nerf or buff.
I think it's a nerf on.
Yeah,
Dominion
that's what I'm
in terms of
assuming.
bot lane. It's a nerf on Dominion in terms of bot lane. It's a nerf on SR in terms of jungle Zed. But
It's a team fight buff.
I think it's a team fight buff. Yeah, you're going to have your shadow up more often if you're just hitting champions with it. The way that they said it is that you can like reset the cooldown of it if you just hit 5 champions with it. If you have
What?
CD.
Let me think. So assuming you have like 40% CDR, it's going to be at like a 10. Yeah. If you hit 5
You
champions,
reset the
boom,
cooldown to
it's
be
back up. Yeah.
We had a couple of item changes here. Health potion limited to 5 health potions. Mana limited to 5. Ionian boots of lucidity minus 50 gold on their cost. Time Mat's combined cost has been changed. Its total cost is down by 300 gold.
400.
400? Oh yeah, 400. Okay. And its attack damage reduced to 40 from 50. And then lastly, Ravenous Hydra's combined cost is 600 from 200, but total cost unchanged.
So
Here
time
comes
that's cheaper.
the Tiamat Shyvana.
I'm just saying, Time Mat
Hydra
is Time Mat's an annoying item to get in general. And
Yeah.
then good luck building Ravenous Hydra.
It gives you like a an extra 1.0 80 nuke every 10 seconds. Like,
Well, Ravenous Hydra's a pretty cool item. I really like it, but the fact that it's just so difficult to get to.
the fact that Tiamat is 400 gold cheaper, I think, is going to make it a lot stronger of an item. And I personally think that we will see a couple more 80 assassins picking it up.
I think Hydra's a good melee item in general. Yeah, I think Hydra's a good item. Also,
Yeah,
Hydra is the key item in the Nocturne versus Elise bot matchup. If you didn't know, me and Brown Bruiser metagame this one out. You have to get Hydra against Elise bot lane as Nocturne,
and then you win.
because he kept dying to Elise. I'm like, he's like, dude, these spiders. He's like, these spiders are just doing all the damage. I'm like, just get a Hydra, man.
And you guys have tested it out and it actually works.
Yeah, it works.
Wow, so Nocturne beats Elise. I need to tell people that.
Yeah,
I
you
hate
go.
I'll make
Elise
Panzers
Spider
happy.
form. It's really stupid.
I'll make Panzers really happy.
This is the goofiest matchup that I've heard being solved by Ravenous Hydra. I'm a fan.
Well, I mean, like, there are, like, people do theorycraft matchups. Like, I was watching, I think, Booberry and Comfortarius test like a, what was it, Urgot versus Zyra matchup, and Zyra actually wins, like, mid to late game. Like, once she gets past early game, there's nothing Urgot can do to her. She just beats him.
Yeah, their entire team did the Evelyn Urgot bottom the night we beat them. Like they're just practicing things to beat Evelyn bot.
On the
Yeah,
potion change.
you can't first pick Evelyn bot anymore. If you're gonna take her Lerch, you have to take her top.
You got to first pick her though, because
I remember actually when I was on Phil Vibe like we were like Evelyn's open. I'm like let them have her, and Sauron's like yeah I can beat her no problem. So yeah, like people already had a counter to Evelyn.
because you could go top if they pick Urgot, just pick something that kills Urgot and then go Evelyn top.
Yeah,
So
just pick Nunu. Just pick Nunu and chill him.
Yep.
You gave our team Evelyn.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
now
you're gonna need to keep her top now, Lerch, because if you try sending Evelyn bot again, we will hard counter your ass really bad.
Oh, they do. They try.
The champion
That's why
spotlight
we
for
send
Lissandra
User
is
bottom now.
Oh, is it?
Wait, what?
Oh, wow.
I don't like watching those.
Uh,
I also
I'm
can't.
saying there.
Is there a
What?
text version of it?
Apparently she's mana
does,
efficient.
does Freak build a Triforce on it?
Yeah. Do we see Triforce on her?
I don't know, I
Scroll
haven't
down
watched
the
it.
last section.
Are you guys talking about Lysandra?
Is there
Yeah.
is there a sub name the Ice Dervish? Really?
The Ice Witch.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I think that was an early thing then.
So on the potions, did anyone ever really have more than 5 potions unless they were trolling people?
Yeah,
that's
top lane.
SR
Top lane and mid.
That is an
Yeah, SR players would like start with fort pots and like a shit ton of potions.
Was
in
good
the
on
Start
boards.
Wards.
9 pots wards for top
Yeah,
lane. Or
that
fort
was just
pot.
really stupid to land against because
Or-
there's
I've never
nothing
done
to
more
fucking-
than 5. I've done like cloth armor
Oh.
5. That's the most I've ever.
I can't do a 9-potion rumble and twist tree line.
You mean 13 Ocean Rumble?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just. Oh,
The SR meta
I
has
actually
shifted.
remember watching a video of Dyer. She did 19 health potion Mordekaiser.
That
Ooh.
was
Yeah.
You
ages ago.
can't
He started nothing but health potions, and
Yeah.
and by the time he backed, he had enough gold to straight up buy a death cap and something else.
That's horrifying. No.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't- Ryan
to
doesn't
have
like
more
that.
than 5 potions is pretty stupid.
Yeah, so that's just like nerfing the shit out of like those retarded
it-
high sustain starts.
And it was pretty unfair to like manaless champs too, because they just buy straight pots. Like,
I'm
I
gonna play
played Cat
Katarina
yesterday.
and have a really bad early game, but it doesn't matter because I have 9 potions.
Yeah.
Did it yesterday. It was great.
Speaking of potions, the item shop can now be resized, and its default size now determined by screen resolution. Thank freaking goodness, because that was annoying as hell.
I can make it bigger.
We can make it smaller. It
I want it
doesn't
to cover
show
full
up
screen.
giant if your screen is a certain size.
I want to
So
see
now-
all the items.
Yeah, so when I hit B and I bring up the shop, there's no way I'll know I'm getting attacked.
Yeah, like the screen can't blink red if the item shop is big enough.
Yeah, if I can't see the screen, I'm not dying, so it's okay.
You get attacked, it should bring you back to your character and close the shop so you know you're
Yeah,
there.
I agree with that. That
It should
would
just
be
have
very
an
nice.
easy maximize button. Just full screen.
All
I've
right.
died several times to stop in before I warp back.
Yeah, I've died to that like a couple of times myself.
We're reaching the end of the list here. We got a few general changes to go over.
Okay, so items will now display the charge counter in your inventory than as above, which is sort of an annoying change because you
I
have
like
to look.
seeing it on the bar.
Yeah, I like
it there
seeing it
better.
on
Yeah.
the bar too. Like Blackfire Torch, how many charges do I have? Now I have to look further down and to the left.
Players will no longer see reconnect messages from the enemy team. That's not fair. If we can see disconnects, we should be able to see reconnects.
I don't know because like if you see them, you actually can't see them disconnecting. Like they changed that. You
Till
can't see them.
5 minutes. Yeah, it's 5 minutes
Yeah,
of DC.
and
then it says
now, and basically, what a reconnect message means is that right now this person isn't here, like they're still in their fountain. So a reconnect message is still giving you an unfair advantage because, like, you know for 100% certain that it's 4v5 or 5v4, whatever it is. Just go
Okay.
ahead.
I've won matches that way. So
Yeah.
Trundle replaced Master Yi in the base tutorial.
OP.
Great.
nerf to
That's
Yi.
lame.
Now this last change,
Lame.
I'm really curious to see if I want to see the code on how they made this work. Spell shields now only block one spell, even if multiple spells hit the
Okay,
target in rapid
the
succession.
way it works, like right now, like if you activate a spell shield and like a whole bunch of spells hit you
Yeah,
at
it nullifies
basically the same time, it'll block them all. And now I guess it'll only block one.
But yeah,
of them.
what does it prioritize
That's
now?
what I want to
Yeah,
see. What's the
that's-
code
Does it
here?
see the damage?
I'm going to
Like,
assume it prioritizes the one which hits first.
No,
yeah,
they're
the
hitting
Triforce is the one that
simultaneously.
hit first.
How do they
But
measure
if it-
first, though,
I think,
without a hard
I think
seconds?
the way
What
I
seconds
think that the way that it's the way that it works
still happens
is,
simultaneously.
it's impossible for things to happen simultaneously, though.
Yeah.
No, the game has a frame rate.
Yeah, yeah.
It's locked
and
in by
I'm
the
saying
frame
that
rate, like what frame it lands on.
I think what it is it's one frame now, instead of it being like there's probably like a 5-frame window or something like that.
Yeah, that's probably the case.
I just really wish I could see that line of code.
Yeah.
I just
Ooh,
need to know.
and there's actually one more. Players with video cards that use software vertex shaders, which is basically laptops, should see a 10 to 40% FPS performance across all maps.
I like
So
that.
myself, so
Very nice.
people like me who are playing on like shitty laptops like my own are going to see a frame increase, and that will be wonderful.
That's
Yeah.
half my team, actually. Keep telling them to
Yeah.
do desktops, none of them will.
But why? When I could play anywhere.
I would love to have like a real dedicated gaming computer, but I don't have the cash to shell out on it.
I would never want to play a game not on a mechanical key switch keyboard, so I could
Oh
never.
man,
Oh, that's not-
living in luxury.
Oh, you poor
That's-
thing.
My unemployment.
You're putting more things on my shopping list, damn it.
I'm
Like,
just gonna refrain from
how much money
talking
am I
about my
gonna have
computer.
to shell out at the end?
You need it
Oh
now.
yeah.
This episode of Patch Notes brought to you by Razer. Go pick yourself up a nice Black Widow Ultimate keyboard and a Razer Naga today.
Well, dude, I don't like the Razer Naga at all. Get yourself a Razer Death Adder and get yourself a nice SteelSeries keyboard. I think
have a
SteelSeries
Razer-
makes the best keyboards, and I think Razer makes the best mice.
I have a
I
Razer
don't-
hand-me-down something or another. I don't know what the hell mouse it is, but it's like a hand-me-down Razer mouse.
Probably a Naga. That's
Naga,
generally
the one with
like
12 buttons on the side is your Naga.
I hate the
It's
Naga.
good stuff.
Why?
Oh,
Yeah,
that-
it's
that's the
definitely
Naga.
it's not a Naga then. It only has like
That's the Naga hex. Okay, the 12
has, like,
button one is
4 buttons.
Naga.
Yeah, how's your like only 6 to 8 button one? Is that okay with you? The one that's specific, like, hey, this is for LOL, and LOL uses a lot more than 6 buttons, but deal with it.
Look, if they made the Naga, if they made the Naga with that side keypad, but if they made it in the same body shape as the Death Adder and the Mamba, then I might actually use the
Oh.
Naga. But I hate that shape of mouse with a passion.
I only use like
It's uncomfortable as fuck for me.
I only use a couple buttons on my mouse. So I use like, and I don't even use them for in-game stuff. I use them for like
You
voice
don't-
activity.
You
Yeah.
just bind everything to it, and you eat pizza in one hand and game with the other. That's how it works.
That sounds gross.
that
I don't
sounds
think-
awesome.
Yeah, my level ups, my taunts, everything is all like on my mouse.
Oh yes, bind taunt. Like I
Yeah.
bind laugh to the move key.
I had to turn that off in tournaments because you guys, thank you, by the way. I
use,
had to turn off all champion voice effects.
You were yelling at me for pew pewing last time.
Why did
Rumble.
they give you the option of being able to turn them off? That's
I know,
awesome.
right? That's so rude. Like
Yeah,
I just
that's
want to
part of the
spam
game.
laugh. I just want to spam Lux's laugh. It's all I desire.
Oh lord.
And Kyle can spam the rumble thing. The stupid.
Yeah, how do you even do that? I was trying to find out how to turn that off. I'm like
you just
freaking
mash.
out.
You
Just
hold
taunt?
down. You hold down the shift key and you mash 4 really quickly.
Is it
Press
4 or
your
2?
button on your mouse really, really fast.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like you just spam laugh like this, bam, and that's where the rumble thing is coming from.
Oh no, that's the one good
That's
thing
right.
about Quinn.
Then
the
that should
one
be
good
off,
thing about
then.
Quinn is her creeping. The thing with Quinn where she calls the bird and it like comes down and it makes like a
Oh, that's
squawk sound.
awesome. That's
yeah, and then you
awesome.
just spam it and then like as it ends, it slowly is like over and over again. It's so good. That's the one good thing.
All right,
I missed the
we have,
moo bug, the map laugh.
we have reached the end of the page, everyone. I'm gonna let you all give a recap of who the hell you people are, and if you guys want to plug anything, your teams, your streams, your whatever, you guys get a chance to do that right here, right now. It's you time.
Okay, so I'm half-hearted, and I may have a new team coming up really soon if I actually get off my lazy ass and form it. So there's that.
And
Next.
I'm Heavy Blackout. I play for amputees, and I'm sponsored by crappy laptops and crappy mice.
Nice. Alright, I am Science. I play on amputees. Working on a website right now that'll be related to Dominion stuff, but I don't want to say too much about it right now.
You should
And that's me.
off stream talk to me about that. I'm
might.
very interested in that project now. Now that you
I
mention
might.
it. All right, and we got a Kraogg Lerch. Lerch Kraogg?
A Lerch from Cheese Enema. I play, yeah, it's me. Take
I play.
pictures. I play Dominion.
Hashtag Evelyn Bot.
Evelyn Bottom.
But
Evelyn Bot.
Don't ban Evelyn.
Daddy.
Let her be open. Don't pick her. She's
Yeah.
balanced.
I'm Kraogg, gonna play for Cheese Enema and go into in-houses to troll Fancy Wolf all the time.
Trolls me all day. Bans out everything.
He only plays Evelyn. He only plays Vlad now.
Shoutouts to Fancy Wolf Iceless Heart.
One day I'll get it. One day.
Don't keep
And I'm
us
Fancy
waiting,
Wolf.
man.
Dominion streamer extraordinaire. You can find me over at Twitch TV /SirFancyWolf. Dominion games, speedruns, all that good stuff going on. I stream literally every day, 24/7. People are pretty surprised when they wake up, like, the hell are you doing here? Didn't you go to bed? But yeah, stop by, learn some Dominion, catch some high-level stuff.
Save some frames.
Yeah, save some frames.
I'm Gander of the gaming clan Vato Clan. You can usually find me every week casting the DominateDominion.com League of Legends Dominion tournament. Next week is going to be Dominate Dominion number 55. That tournament's free to enter. You might get your game cast by me if you're going to play Dominion anyway. I encourage you to come out and play in that event. I would also like to say thank you to all my guests for coming and being on the show today. And I hope you guys find this a little bit informative. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I will see you guys the next time that I've got some patch notes worth talking about.